Hello everyone, this is Kaga. Well, today's going to be in another World of Warships video, and today's one of those nice times where we have two for the price of one. That's right, you're getting two replays today. Both are in this wonderful ship right here in front of you, the Japanese Tier 7 heavy cruiser, the Myoko. Now, during the closed beta test, I really developed a very strong love of the Japanese heavy cruisers. And there's a number of reasons for that. One, they're quite agile, they turn very nicely. You can do some interesting, almost like Toho Project style dodges of incoming barrages from enemy battleships if you're at intermediate range. They've got torpedoes. They're some of the few cruisers that have usable torpedoes. And yeah, I know the German cruisers have what amount to self-defense torpedoes, but these are torpedoes that you can actually use in somewhat offensive gesture because they have this nice, I think it was 10-kilometer range. And anyway, moving on. There's some other nice things about them. They have some very punchy guns, and there's a good number on the Myoko that there's 10 203mm guns, and they're very fine. Especially when you upgrade that accuracy on them. They're very fine guns. Reasonably fast firing. I think they got them somewhere between like 12 and 15 second reloads, depending on situations and your captain skills. The only real downside to, well, actually there's two downsides. What am I talking about? To the Japanese heavy cruisers, and again the Myoko is no exception. The first of them is, well, there's quite lackluster AA, being equivalent to at least one or two tiers down, like the equivalent American cruiser, and subpar compared to the, of course I blank out on the name of the ship, like if I was comparing like the Mogami to like either the New Orleans, oh that was the name of it, it was the Mikhail-Kutuzov, that premium Soviet light cruiser at tier 8. It's just lackluster AA in comparison, and even the what was it? Yeah, I haven't gone up the German cruiser line. Oh yeah, it was the Admiral Hipper up at tier 8. When you upgrade the AA guns, it actually gets fairly respectable anti-air power. No matter what you do to the Japanese cruisers, not really going to ever change that, but you know, there's still something we love about them, and you know, the hilarity of carrying torpedoes. And keep an eye on those torpedoes, because I'm not going into that sea point with at least one enemy destroyer in there. That would be stupid. Yeah, even more stupid than sailing in straight lines, right? Like you see the common stereotype of enemy battleships doing. So right now, nothing's really happened this match. It's nice, slow development. I guarantee you it's gonna pick up here really quickly. So watch, and I'm watching in disbelief that this was gonna happen. Yes, yes. Oh boy, bye bye Ognovoy. Hey wait, did we just share the first blood with somebody? Wow. Keep your eye on Ted 1101 there, in the enemy Benson in their first division over there. Keep an eye on him. He's going to be a real headache for my team. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's hard to keep an eye on him when he's playing smart and getting spotted as little as possible. Yeah, we all know that invisible nature that destroyers have in this game. But that's part of what we love about them and part of what we hate about them, you know? It's one of those weird things. We love it when we have it, we hate it when we don't. I guess that's the whole rock, paper, scissors thing working in our favor again, or should I say against us. Now anyway, back to those wonderful guns. You're going to notice that, yeah, they're wonderful guns, they're very punchy. They have this low gun arc though. So if I was in a light cruiser with the 6-inch like the Mogami, I could have lofted those shells right over that island. No questions in my mind, and started getting that North Carolina on fire right then, right there. But let's not really concern ourselves with that right now. Let's go ahead, put some more shells out. Check where that torpedo alarm came from. Oh, it was the Ally. Looks like it might be a York or a Hipper. Salvo's right on point, and boom, he's on fire. And that's one of the things that we really love about the Japanese heavy cruisers. Unlike American 203mm guns or light cruisers, you can pretty much get a fire just about every other salvo, sometimes multiple fires every other salvo against enemy ships, provided you are fairly good in your targeting. You get most of your shells on target, and you know, you have the demolition expert ability. So again, we see that destroyer. I'm not going to even think about turning in there. I know torpedoes are coming, and we're gonna use that opportunity to turn around, put some fire on this turpits. We'll get that fire again. We'll send another salvo in there. Let's look for torpedoes. Look for torpedoes. I know they're there. Okay, they're not there yet. So let's check, see how a fall of shots going, because he's turning. We got him on fire again. And, oh, there's those torpedoes. It looks like they're going to miss. Gonna take one more full salvo there on him. Oh, I'm not so certain about that. Let's turn off a little bit more. Let's see how those shells are doing. Look, his repair party's on cooldown. We got him on, not repair party, his damage control party is back on cooldown. We got a second fire on him. We'll just let him keep burning. Send another salvo more or less in his direction. Try to get some more damage on there. Maybe a third fire, we'll see. In the meantime, we'll go ahead, switch fire to this Atago. Yes, I know, you're going to see me fire HE at another enemy cruiser. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm working on the fire mission. And I don't mean the fire mission like you send artillery strike on something. I mean the actual fire part of the Myoko quest for the Arpeggio Blue Steel ships right now. So yeah, I'm going for as many fires as possible. It's not going to say that I'm not going to use AP during this match. I'm just highly incentivized not to. Because, you know, 300 fires are not going to light themselves unless I get to suicide distance and let my secondaries start doing the job. So, looks like that Turpit's got taken down before a final salvo by an allied there. I think it was the allied Kututsov. I think it was Air Bear over there. Well played to him. I'm going to switch fire to this New Mexico. Nice, healthy damage there. Not a particularly great salvo from the mission perspective, but you know, damage is damage, no harm done. Again, we'll see if we can get more fires on there. We got 2. Looks like 4 and F superstructure are alike. He instantly uses his damage control party. Good discipline there for battleships is wait till you have at least 2 fires to use it. So we're going to keep applying damage. Any fire we ignite while he is under the influence, he has his damage control party up and active. It will still count towards the mission. It just won't do any damage after it's been extinguished. So it's no real harm in using that on him. Likewise on this Atago, I probably could have one salvoed him, but you know, I want fires. But we're going to go ahead. We got it. Oh, looks like an ally put him on fire again. Switch to the AP. I'm looking for a kill right now. And right now, especially because I know torpedoes will come. He's an Atago. He's got 2 launchers aside. I know they're coming. Putting an end to him with a nice timed citadel. And instantly, I'm turning towards him, and my suspicions were confirmed. I'm looking for this one. I don't know if he's fired a second one or had the opportunity to. So I'm going to sail more or less at him, or where he went down, to try to give myself the best chances of threading another one if possible, or dodging it outright. And, you know, so what, that cost me some extra shots on that battleship. I'd rather have my ship for longer in this match than to waste it right then and there by being stupid, sailing in straight lines, you know? Don't be that guy. Remember, don't be that guy. Your W, A, S, and D keys do something very important in this game. Because, you know, turning is overpowered if you really think about it. But okay, we look like we're going to go for some more shots on that Mogami. I'm not going to really rely on my lead indicator against this battleship. It looks like in North Carolina. I'm going to plant some torpedoes where I know he's going to be. Go ahead. bring the ship back around for broadside of HE into him, because I think he's focusing on someone else. Not gonna hang around with that for too much longer, because sailing broadside onto a battleship, that's asking for a paddling. The longer you do it, the more likely it is we get another fire on there, 2 floods with 2 torpedo hits. That's great. That guy wasn't gonna last much longer, but an ally picks up the kill. Oh, drat. Relegated to the support role again. A cruiser's life, right? We want to be the stars of the show. But it can't be. Oh, are those torpedoes? It looks like the enemy, I think it's Imutski, has quite the hard-on for our Fuso right now. I don't think he was the one who scored that last big hit on that Fuso, but I'm not going to stick around too much longer with an angry destroyer in there, or likely near there. So let's go ahead and get the last salvo off on that Mogami. I think it's going to be a miss because that guy has been fairly good about trying to throw off consistent targeting. Oh well. Oh, wait, we got 3 shell hits and a crit. Yay! Okay, one of those nice little things that you can do in your heavy cruisers, because you have slower turret traverse than like a light cruiser or destroyers, is take shots of opportunity at, you know, things that might be useful for your team to have dead. Put in a few shots on that Cleveland, and looks like we pick up the Confederate award there. Apparently we did quite a bit of damage to him. Yay! We love damage, right? We love damage. So long as it's not on us, that is. Go ahead, we put in another salvo on, I think this looks like Colorado. Again, and oh, looks like, wow, that Benson gunned down our Fuso. Wow. Holy crap. Okay, we're gonna put 9 out of 10 shells right there into the midships of that Colorado. Wasn't quite high enough to start setting fires, so let's go ahead. Oh, wait, damn. He is really trying to nail my ass, and with that salvo, Benson isn't able to stop me from lighting a fire and picking up the high caliber award. Yay. It's actually at this point when I'm reviewing the replay and actually putting commentary on it that I actually noticed the notification that our Air Bear 8, I think that's our Kututsov driver, managed to pick up the old Kraken Unleashed award. Wigglies! Yay, Wigglies! And I got close enough to spot that destroyer. I'm expecting torpedoes. Yeah, let's take Billy big steps in the opposite direction. Unlike that guy. Yeah, you just saw the torpedoes slam into what was left of his hull and what was the island looked like he got splattered upon. Okay, I'm gonna sit here, go through some turret management, do some more ranging shots, try to get the, well, not really ranging shots, I'm trying to get this guy's bow on fire and start fanning the flames, you know? I want more fires. Fires are very good when you're trying to ignite them for a mission, to get a free ship. I'll be honest, yeah, it's a little bit sadistic. Is it sadistic? Maybe. I guess not. Just outright cruel to say, yeah, I want to cause you all kinds of pain or all kinds of pain and headaches to just get a free ship. GG Wargaming. You're encouraging sadism in the world. Cruelty against your fellow man. I guess it's just a game, right? But then again, if it really was just a game, and oh yeah, got another fire. If it was just a game, would you see so much chat rage? Would you see so much forum rage just coming up out of nowhere? It's thought-provoking, right? Anyway, so there's no destroyers on our team and 2 destroyers on the enemy team. I know with the Benson somewhere off to my starboard side there, you can see roughly in the direction of where my guns are pointing that there's a smoke screen. I don't expect him to have lingered there anymore because we're capturing the Charlie point. So, can anybody raise their hands and say what is the first rule of ship steering when we're certain that there's an enemy destroyer nearby? If you said, or if you were going to volunteer that constantly changing speed and course was the correct course of action, sorry, pardon my pun. Yes, that is the correct thing to do in this case. Give yourself a pat on the back and go grab a cookie. Who loves cookies? I know I do. And I just want to keep illustrating that I actually thought about removing this part of the replay because I'll give you a hint, we're not going to catch this guy. But we saw those torpedoes come by, and it tells us roughly that the enemy destroyer is operating somewhere behind this island here, probably closer to that island off on the right side of the island my gun reticle was pointing at. But nonetheless, I am going to be taking some really sharp changes in my heading, my speed if I can, and I'm going to start trying to pre-aim my gun turrets in that direction and pondering where will the torpedoes come from. I only saw one spread. I don't know if he fired before then, but I know the Benson has 2 launchings of 5, so let's go ahead and try to stall out until the end of the cap. And we managed to cap those points. That's right, this is a double feature today. I said that at the beginning, and I really did mean it. We'll go over the post-game stats at the end for both of these rounds, more or less in order. So, this is another Myoko match, and another domination game. Notice a trend here. There's a lot of domination games in World of Warships right now. Not that that's a bad thing, you know. It really did refresh the game from, and at least in my opinion, from the closed beta test where like 60% of the games were quote-unquote standard battle with the 2 held capture points and the teams basically just fought each other to annihilation, and there was no real incentive to push the fight. So all in all, I really don't mind that there's this heavy emphasis on the domination game mode. I just kind of wish that they differentiated the ones where you had the 2 caps, the 1 per side, and the 3 or 4 domination point game modes. But then again, those of us who've been around since the closed beta might recall that the 2 point domination game mode used to be known by another name, and everybody hated it. It was called Conquest mode. They made some minor tweaks to it, reintroduced it, I think sometime in the middle of open beta going into live release, and just slapped on domination to fool people. At least I think that's what happened. So right now we're moving with the fleet. One of those basic survivability things that you can do in your cruisers, doesn't matter what flavor of cruiser you're in, is sail with the fleet. And it goes back to the survivability onion. You have the, if you can avoid being there, don't be there. If you have to be there, don't be seen. If you're seen, don't be targeted. And that last one is more into the lines of, if you're in a group of ships and trying not to collide with them, trying to ponder how to best do this, and we both turn off, but you know how that sometimes turns out. And if you're in a group of ships, you're less likely to be singled out, and there are more guns flying, not flying, guns don't fly unless they're on aircraft. What am I talking about? Man, I'm having trouble today. But the whole thing about it is that if there are more targets for the enemy to shoot at, their fire is less effective. and there's more likelihood that the enemy ships will be taking up evasive maneuvers of their own because there are probably the same number of ships or more. And my god, this Furutaka, holy Jesus, you nearly took out 2 friendlies with that spread of torpedoes. Holy shit. People, please, 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 for the love of all that is good on this earth, please, do not fire your torpedoes in possible arcs where you are sure an ally is going to be. Now, I know that you can have the occasional weird shot with like the 20 kilometer or 15 kilometer torps on higher end destroyers that you take perfectly safe shots and oh crap. Was that a detonation? Oh yeah, that was a detonation. Public service announcement to Atlanta drivers: your magazines can be penetrated by 8-inch high explosive. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Torpedoes to port.
Dear me.
Torpedoes astern.
I was trying to get fire on Atlanta. I was not trying to blow him up. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. I was talking about that, those really long range torpedoes you get on on upper tier destroyers. Yeah, the weird thing about those is that sometimes you really do have to take a shot for your own survival with them, and they do have 20 kilometers range or 15 kilometers range, and you can't really predict what allies will do in, you know, 2.5 minutes. Yes, that's right. It can happen. Those of us who have been forced into really awkward situations have had that happen. I'm no exception, and I get the great screech that you'll get when it happens and go, what the bleep? What just happened? Yeah, it does happen. And no matter what you do, you can say, ping the map or try to advise them in chat, torpedoes coming at this vector. They won't pay attention, or sometimes they just can't pay attention. They're in the middle of a very involved close quarters brawl or something like that, and they miss it. Things happen. And speaking of trying to miss things, I'll quickly throw the throttle down, pitch the rudder, and try to avoid this island here, because I was quite blatantly tunnel visioning on fire, New York, fire, fire. Yeah, that's right. We're fire obsessed right now. We're a pyromaniac, basically. We want to watch that battleship burn. Oh, and he used his damage control ability. Oh, that's excellent. That is excellent. Oh well, only 3 shells. Not very likely that they will do the fire goodness here, because, you know, even with a 1 in 5 chance that I have with the captain skill with this high explosive, it'd still take 5 shells to get that fire roll that we need from RNG. So we'll go ahead, we'll get him on fire again. We extend our lead a little bit to try to pitch over the rear superstructure, which appears to be what's on fire, and hit the front superstructure to try to get that burning too. And that's just one of those little tricks you pick up when you're heavy cruiser and you want to maximize damage on battleships who are minimizing their silhouette. So now that we got that New York on fire again, we'll switch back to this Colorado, start giving in pieces of the good news, high explosive news, you know? And I think at this point you're going to start seeing that my aim is just a little bit off to the left or right. And I think that's probably been constant throughout this entire replay, and it will continue moving forward. But, you know, it's still working, right? It's still working. And again, we're going to do that same trick we did with the New York, and, oh, an ally picks up the kill there. Good kill on that New York. We're going to do that same trick, try to extend the amount of his increase the amount of fire on his ship, or increase the number of fires, I guess, would be the better way to put it. So we put in a shot on that Omaha where we expect him to be. He turns a little bit at just the right time, and they harmlessly miss. And don't have time to worry about that Omaha. We're gonna get that. And ooh, fires are out. More HE. Add more HE. Nothing quite like a nice little barbecue with battleships. What's the funny thing, you know? You look at the shorthand for barbecue, right? It's spelled BBQ. I wonder if you could almost look at that and say it's battleship tears, you know? Makes you wonder, right? Oh, we got another fire. Yay! We love fires. Again, we're going to extend the lead a little bit. I saw the torpedo warning indicator come up, and I instantly look for where it might come from. And again, we got a few shell hits, but again, it's off to the left. And this battleship is not making it easy for me. I'm just not predicting exactly where they need to be. And with the tighter dispersion, and rather the tighter shell patterns that we're getting with the increased accuracy out of these guns, I have to be that much more precise with where these land. So if he goes even a little bit off to one side, they can miss entirely, and adding insult to injury, we get another fire. So right now, situation's a little bleak. The enemy controls 3 of the 4 capture points. They've stopped our natural point generation from the 1 cap that we have. So there's 2 options I have. One is to go try and help eliminate these 2 cappers. It looks like a Furutaka and a Nevni. Or I can go apply pressure on the Charlie capture point, which is the closest enemy held point that I have. Either choice will work. But en route, I will start firing my guns at this Nevni, who's doing everything in his power to prevent me from getting my shells onto target. Which, I guess that's to be expected. About 12 kilometers, 13 kilometers against a good destroyer captain is sometimes just enough to make the dispersion count, and they can start dodging this stuff. Like there was a grazing point system that awarded extra XP for getting as close as humanly possible to enemy fire but not getting hit. Let's sigh. And just as I had finally gotten into that point where I could have actually done it, an ally picks up the kill. Oh well, I guess we can't complain too much about it. We still have the capture point, and, well, he's dead, so that counts for something. And with the loss of that Nevni and only a lone low-health Furutaka left in this direction, it makes sense for me to steam north to try to support those 2 battleships that are so bravely holding off the enemy advance. So I'm going to now turn around, and I will be completely transparent, and this decision is partly motivated by I see 2 battleships up there. I want more fires, so I gotta go where the most vulnerable targets are, or the most likely to ignite targets are. So yeah, that will go north. So let's go ahead, let's bring our turrets to the right side of the ship and practice good turret management. So let's go ahead and start pondering this shot. It looks good. I send 2 ranging shots. It's over the hill. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. And yes, it's a fire from over the hill. Oh, I love the Myoko sometimes. Guns just, oh, once you learn their quirks, it's glorious. Now that Nagato looks like he's gonna turn. We get the bow of his ship on fire. I'm gonna change the lead again. Plant them over this small island. Try to get him, oh, he used his damage control. We'll try to get another fire in on him again. It instantly gets put out. So yeah, he was still using that damage control. We'll switch fire to this. It looks like a New York. Go ahead, try to get him on fire too. He knows what's coming. He's trying to do everything he can to change course, but it's not enough. And with him, we pick up the high caliber. We're going to switch fire again here. Nope, no, looks like we're going to continue trying to get that New York. He does manage to dodge that one. We go back to this Nagato. Looks like an ally put him on fire. I don't think those were my shells. Oh, is that a destroyer? I think that's the Farragut. The enemy Farragut, who doesn't have a kill yet, but he's still in a Farragut, so he's still fairly dangerous. So we're going to extend the lead again, try to get past that part of his superstructure that's burning. Oh, it just went out. It just went out. Drat. Oh, if I only had that 5th shell. If only. So we're going to move back to this New York because he's the larger threat right now. Because he's got 10 14-inch guns pointing at me instead of 4 16-inch guns. So we're going to slow down, put ourselves in the turn, try to minimize the chances that he will get a citadel penetration. We'll bring more fire down on him. And we're going to just keep peppering him with HE as our turrets get either reload or get back on the target. So again, he's on fire. We're going to keep going for it. Keep going for it. We're going to try to get it. We're going to try to get it. But those allied torpedoes are going to make the final blow. Okay. Damn it, Soviet warlord. Why'd you have to get so close to a destroyer? Okay. So at 15 fires, 117 shell hits, and the 3 ships sunk, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to go kill us a destroyer. So we managed to actually turn this around. I know that Farragut's still up here. It's not that fast of a ship, even with its speed boost. And we know the location of that. It's either a Mutsuki or a Minekaze. I don't remember. I haven't seen them. I can't identify it. When the Farragut steams into range, we're just firing every turret we can as it comes on to bear. And, oh, we picked up the Confederate award. Knocked out a crap ton of his modules. He's going to repair right now. But too little, too late. Our guns are already on the bear, and even with that glorious smoke screen of his, it can't not stop an 8-inch shell from finding him again. We got him on fire, but an ally picks up the kill. That's unfortunate. We did most of the damage. But, you know, 16 fires. 16! That's nothing to shake a stick at. And we already know that right now there's no possible way we can finish off that last enemy destroyer before the cap mission is completed with 1,000 points, so that's a good game. I know I'm forgetting something. Oh well, we'll probably talk about it some other time. So this is the results for the first game. We got the Confederate, the High Caliber, First Blood, and a Devastating Strike Award. Got a good amount of credits, XP, and free XP out of that one. Good progress on our Myoko mission, fire mission, with 14 fires. Managed to also get those 4 floods in, and even 1 citadel penetration, and assisted in 1 cap, and that's going to help us explain that giant amount of XP, which is with, I think, some type of weekend modifier and premium time associated with that. But when you actually go through and look at it, that's how we can move up the tree so quickly. And for all of that work, it's no surprise that we walk out of this with top XP. We didn't get the most kills, but we got the most experience done on the team with a little over 2,500 base experience for our troubles. And again, this is a shout out to Air Bear. Good game, bro. You got the Kraken Unleashed award and get all the squiggly honors with that. And another shout out to Ted1101. Good game, man. Good game. Now this is the screen that does a lot of revealing about the true strengths of cruisers. It's all about how long you stay alive. A lot of those shots really didn't feel like the devastating power that you have that in like a battleship or when you get a good hit with a destroyer. Well, maybe minus those torpedo hits on that North Carolina. But you look at that HE damage, and you think about it going, wow, we were usually only getting maybe about, 3,000 to 5,000 damage a hit and some fires. But we didn't really do a lot in that fire category for a grand total of, just a little over 23,000 fire damage there. It's not a lot of fire damage, but actually it's not even a third of what we did in terms of HE damage. You just look at the total grand sum of this damage, 157,185 damage in a single game. That's respectable in any ship. Well, anything that isn't supremely overpowered. I wouldn't say that this ship is overpowered, but you'd be the judge of that one. Interestingly enough, here's the second game, and you'll notice that more or less, yes, these were played on 2 different days. That's why the XP is more or less the same. You had the same premium time, the same modifiers. But you look at that and go, Confederate, High Caliber, First Blood, Devastating Strike. I think I've seen that before. Oh wait, those were the same medals we got last time. But this time we got 16 fires this time and no torpedo damage whatsoever. And we didn't bother with citadeling anybody. Again, surprise, surprise, we're punching just a little under 2,500 XP this time. 3 ships downed. That's a good run, no matter how you want to look at it. Considering that it almost looked like we were going to lose that match, I'm happy enough with that. Again, this is not great gameplay. This is just good or above average gameplay. So the natural question is that because we got no torpedo hits that round, is how did we get that difference and almost get the same XP as last time? Well, let's answer that question with, well, we did more HE shell damage, and we did almost double the amount of burning chaos fire damage to the enemies, even though we didn't do nearly as much AP damage. I'm sad about that. But all this said and done, this comes out to a grand total of about 150,692, plus or minus a few individual points if I've done my math correctly. That's a lot of damage. So you can kind of see how the XP, it did kind of come out of that match, even though it didn't feel like it. Well, thank you for having stuck with me for almost 40 minutes at this point. My God, I haven't done a video this long in a while. It's a bit exhausting, actually. Don't worry, next one will be shorter. I'm thinking about actually explaining some of the steps I'm doing for setting fires to help you all out. Again, don't be surprised if it's another Myoko video, and I'm perfectly fine with the comments getting fired up with, oh, you're showing too much Myoko, show us something else. You have other ships, right? We know you have other ships. We're bored of the Myoko already. Show us something else. Don't worry, I'll show you something else. I've got a few gameplay footage. I got a few replays that more or less will cover that need for a little bit, but I think I'll take a little quick jump over to War Thunder after that, because I got a few nice aerial matches to go through that I think are worth watching. So please stay tuned to the channel. If you like what you've seen, give us a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead, join us on Facebook. Or join me on Facebook. Participate in the conversation there. The link is in the video description down below. Thank you. Have a good day.